Japan, a nation of islands forged by fire and sea, where emperors, monks, shoguns, and common people have shaped an extraordinary story spanning tens of thousands of years. From stone tools and rice paddies to samurai wars, closed borders, devastating war, and astonishing rebirth. This is the complete history of Japan. The islands we now call Japan rose from volcanic forces millions of years ago. The earliest humans reached these islands from the Asian mainland around 30,000 BCE, living as hunter-gatherers during the Paleolithic era. By 14,000 BCE, they developed into the Jomon culture, renowned for crafting some of the world's oldest pottery, cord-marked clay vessels that give the culture its name. For over 10,000 years, Jomon people thrived by fishing, hunting, and gathering, living in pit dwellings and creating unique clay figurines. Then, around 300 BCE, a dramatic change arrived from the Korean peninsula. New migrants brought wet rice farming, metalworking, and weaving. This era, called the Yayoi period, transformed Japan. Settlements expanded, rice paddies reshaped the landscape, and society grew more complex. Local chieftains competed for power, forming early states. Chinese historical texts mention the shaman queen Himiko of Yamatai, who ruled through ritual and diplomacy in the 3rd century CE. Her story, partly legend and partly fact, hints at Japan's earliest recorded leaders. By the 3rd–4th century CE, powerful clans united under the Yamato state, laying the foundation for Japan's imperial line, the world's oldest continuous monarchy, claiming descent from the sun goddess Amaterasu. Early emperors expanded influence through warfare and alliances, while Buddhism, Confucian ideas, and Chinese writing transformed Japan's culture. In 710 CE, the Yamato court moved the capital to Nara, Japan's first permanent capital, modeled after China's Chang'an. Great Buddhist temples like Todaiji rose here, showcasing the colossal bronze Great Buddha. By 794 CE, the court shifted to Heian-kyo, now Kyoto, launching the Heian period, a golden age of refined court life. The aristocracy crafted exquisite poetry, paintings, and literature. Lady Murasaki Shikibu's The Tale of Genji remains the world's first novel, while The Pillow Book by Sei Shonagon reveals the vibrant world of Heian court ladies. Yet beneath the splendor, powerful provincial families and warrior clans gathered strength, setting the stage for a new era dominated by the sword. As the Heian period faded, clan rivalries exploded into conflict. The Genpei War, 1180 to 1185, between the Taira and Minamoto clans ended with Minamoto no Yoritomo seizing power, becoming Japan's first shogun and founding the Kamakura Shogunate, the nation's first military government. The rise of the samurai class defined Japan for the next 700 years. Samurai lived by Bushido, the way of the warrior, loyalty, honor, and martial skill. Zen Buddhism found a home among these warriors, blending spiritual discipline with deadly swordsmanship. The Kamakura Shogunate eventually fell to the Ashikaga clan, who established the Muromachi Shogunate in the 14th century. This period saw cultural flowering, Noi theatre, inkwash painting, rock gardens, and the ritualized tea ceremony took shape. But political unity splintered as powerful landowners, or daimyo, fought for dominance. By the 15th century, Japan plunged into the Sengoku Jidai, the warring states period. Civil war raged for over a century as castles rose on every hilltop and alliances were made and betrayed overnight. Amid this chaos, 3 unifiers rose. Oda Nobunaga used European firearms to break traditional samurai tactics. After his assassination, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, peasant turned general, completed much of the unification. Hideyoshi dreamed of expanding into Korea and China, died before his ambition was realized. In 1600, Hideyoshi's former ally, Tokugawa Ieyasu, triumphed at the Battle of Sekigahara, defeating rival factions and founding the Tokugawa Shogunate, which would rule Japan for over 260 years. Under the Tokugawa Shogunate, Japan entered the Edo period, an era of enforced peace and strict social order. To prevent uprisings, the Tokugawa shoguns closed Japan's borders under the Sakoku policy. For over 2 centuries, only limited trade with China and the Dutch was allowed through the port of Nagasaki. Inside, the country prospered. Samurai became administrators. Merchants grew wealthy despite their low social rank, and towns and cities flourished. Edo, today's Tokyo, became one of the world's largest cities. Cultural life blossomed. Kabuki theater, colorful ukiyo-e woodblock prints, and the poems of master haiku poets like Matsuo Basho captured the fleeting beauty of the age. Yet beneath the stability, problems brewed. Famines, peasant revolts, and rigid class divisions weakened the shogunate's hold. In 1853, the world arrived at Japan's doorstep when American Commodore Matthew Perry forced the nation to open its ports with his black ships. dangerous. The shock of foreign gunboats shattered centuries of isolation. Young samurai, both outraged and inspired, overthrew the Tokugawa. The Meiji Restoration of 1868 restored power to Emperor Meiji, who embarked on a dramatic modernization. Japan industrialized at breakneck speed. Railways, factories, a modern army and navy sprang up. In just a few decades, Japan defeated China in the First Sino-Japanese War and shocked the world by defeating Russia in the Russo-Japanese War, establishing itself as an imperial power. By 1910, Korea was annexed, and Japan joined the ranks of Western empires. Japan entered the 20th century ambitious and restless. Though a victor in World War I, it felt marginalized by Western powers. Political turmoil and economic hardship fueled a rise in militarism. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria, later launching a full-scale war with China in 1937. Japan's empire expanded across Asia and the Pacific, but its attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought the United States into World War II. After years of brutal conflict, 2 atomic bombs fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. Japan surrendered unconditionally, devastated and occupied by Allied forces. Under American occupation, Japan rebuilt from ruins. A new constitution renounced war, guaranteed democratic freedoms, and disbanded its military. With help from the US, Japan rapidly industrialized again, reborn as a global economic powerhouse. In 1964, Tokyo hosted the Olympics, symbolizing its stunning recovery. Today, Japan is a nation of contrasts. Ancient temples alongside bullet trains, centuries-old traditions alongside robotics, anime, and cutting-edge technology. Facing new challenges, an aging population, economic shift, and geopolitical tensions, Japan's story is far from over. From Stone Age foragers to Space Age innovators, this is Japan, resilient, remarkable, and forever reinventing itself. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more deep dives into the world's incredible histories.